obviously we've got to bring back neon cartoon monster merch. Like, this is not a scene revival unless we have the neon cartoon monster merch. What's up, everybody? I'm Finn McKenty. This is the Punk Rock MBA, and today I've got some very good news for you. If you're one of the people who misses the days of MySpace and swoopy hair and neon cartoon monster merch and synth breakdowns, then today is your lucky day, because I am going on the record in this video. I'm predicting that this is the year of the scene revival. But before I get into it, I wanted to let you guys know I've been posting a lot more on Instagram, so if you like this video or my other videos, give me a follow on there. There's a link in the description. So first, let me give you a couple data points that can kind of illustrate what I'm talking about and what made me sort of see that this was starting to become a thing. The first data point I have is a band called Seeyouspacecowboy, who I think are kind of the poster children for the scene revival thing. Now, if you haven't heard them, here's what they sound like. The interesting thing about Seeyouspacecowboy is that even though they sound like Drop Dead Gorgeous or Alisana or whatever, they're considered real music by people with quote-unquote good taste. For example, they're on Hate 5-6. If you haven't seen Hate 5-6, it's a guy named Sunny Singh who shoots live hardcore shows, and he only shoots like real hardcore, right? I would say he played a big part in making Vane kind of blow up in the past couple years. So if you show up on his channel, that's like a serious sign of approval from the hardcore tastemakers like him. It means that now you can sound like Drop Dead Gorgeous or Attack Attack and be considered real music by the hardcore establishment. And they also just signed to Pure Noise Records, which is a very credible label. That's like The Story So Far and Terror and Drug Church and lots of these other like credible, cool, like, you know, semi-hardcore bands. So again, being on that label is a serious stamp of approval by the tastemakers.
MySpace back, MySpace back. That's all these bitches screaming at MySpace back.
Another example is this band called Wristmeetrazor, and I mean, like, that name, you know, they sound exactly what you would think a band like Wristmeetrazor sounds like. So yeah, I mean, you hear and see what they're going for, right? I mean, they got like the pink hair and, you know, the videos in 5:4, so it's like obviously supposed to look like something from like 2006. They call themselves sasscore, but I don't know, to me, it doesn't sound like Blood Brothers. To me, it sounds like Attack Attack. The number 12 looks like you, Drop Dead Gorgeous, you know, the like skronky breakdowns, all that stuff. And like, it's very clear what they're drawing from. And interesting, they're on another cred label. They're on Prosthetic Records, which has put out bands like Skeletonwitch and Psychroptic and Animals as Leaders and Lamb of God. Like, again, being on this label is a serious stamp of approval by the metal and hardcore establishment.
Go to pimp my profile for my background. I have glitter on my page. I'm all that now.
Another example of this is the 29 scene column that Metal Injection has been running. So they talk about bands like Every Time I Die and The Bled and Norma Jean, Fall of Troy. Again, Metal Injection is most definitely the metal establishment. I'm sorry, Rob and Frank, I love you guys, but you are the establishment. But seriously, again, these bands appearing on a site like Metal Injection and getting a cosign from these guys is again a very serious stamp of approval.
Oh, I love me some Twitter, but it's too much drama on there. And I love Facebook, but my mama on there.
So hopefully I've convinced you that this thing is actually a thing. So let me tell you how I think this is going to play out. The big difference is that unlike the original wave of scene bands, which were basically for, you know, suburban teenagers that everybody laughed at and hated and called names, this is going to be a thing for like the hipster elitist snobs, for the Bandcamp and cassette crowd. It's a very similar kind of crowd to the people who were into scrams. Like, who would have ever thought we would see a day where the people who like scene bands are uptight, snobby assholes? But here we are. But that said, it's still very early. There's still time to fix this, my friends. So even though I think the most likely scenario is that this is going to be for a bunch of snobby, annoying, elitist, hipster buttholes, for any of you scene revivalists who are watching this, please take my advice and bring the following things back. Let's do this scene revival the right way. Thing number one, obviously, we've got to bring back neon cartoon monster merch. Like, this is not a scene revival unless we have the neon cartoon monster merch. You know the ones I'm talking about, like a neon blue shirt with like a cartoon monster with its like bright pink guts spilling out or something. The masters of this, by the way, was a band called Rocket. I don't know anything about the brand, but man, they were the shit. Nobody did neon monster shit better than Rocket did. It's not a scene revival without Rocket. Oh, and the Stay Brutal foil shirts. We've got to bring those back too. We've got to bring back the long, zany song titles. I've seen this a little bit. Actually, like Seeyouspacecowboy does this. Good on them, but guys, we've got to keep this going. It's a very important part of scene music. The best example of this, of course, course, is the iconic Attack Attack song, What Happens If I Can't Check My MySpace When We Get There. Thing number 3, we've got to bring back a couple fashion trends. The first one, well, I should start by saying I think there's kind of 2 phases of scene music. There's the early to mid 2000s thing, and then there's the late 2000s to early 2010s thing, and I think they're pretty different. The early 2000s look, for any of you guys that are into that sort of thing, like early Norma Jean, they're a great example of this, is the youth large thrift store shirt with a white belt and bootcut girl jeans and Saucony jazz, like how Under Oath used to dress. So if you're into the early 2000s thing, you definitely have to have that outfit. Like, I'm not even going to talk to you about scene music unless you have the youth large shirt, the white belt, the bootcut girl jeans, and the Saucony jazz. Like, just don't even talk to me unless you have those. Or if you're into the later 2000s thing, obviously you have to have snake bites, you have to have either coontails or swoopy hair, you've got to have like neon skinny jeans, and you got to have the ice cream colorway Osiris high tops. It's not a scene revival without the Osiris high tops. These are mandatory. Thing number 4, we've got to bring back the synth breakdowns with auto-tune vocals over the top. Obviously, Attack Attack were the masters of this, but we've got to bring that back. Without the synth breakdowns, with the auto-tune vocals over the top, it is not a scene revival. And lastly, the most important part of this whole thing, number 1, more than anything else, the one thing we have to bring back is the videos where you've got your orange amps in the middle of a grassy field. This is mandatory. Every scene revival band must have one of these videos. If you don't have a video that's a rip-off of August Burns Red Composure video, or even better, the Design the Skyline video, you're fucking fired. You're out of the scene. I'm kicking you out. These are the rules. Okay, guys, well, that's my thoughts on how this like scene revival thing is going to play out, because I guarantee you it is going to happen this year. I mean, it already kind of is happening with Seeyouspacecowboy and Wristmeetrazor and probably some other bands I don't know about. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, first of all, do you agree with me that this is going to happen? The answer better be yes, because I'm never wrong about these things. And thing number 2 is, do you agree with me that this is going to be very different from the past, that it's not going to be about the XD RAR kids from the suburbs anymore? This is going to be for like the, you know, mid to late 20s, like elitist, snobby, hipster butthole types. Do you agree with me on that? And then thing number 3, what are some other scene trends that you would like to see come back in this revivals? Let me know in the comments, please. Let's save this from the hipsters. This stuff holds a special place in my heart, so I don't want the snobs and the hipster elitists to ruin this revival. We can be better than this, my friends. Okay, guys, so I'm going to sign off for now. Again, I would love it if you would give me a follow on Instagram. I've been posting a lot more good content on there lately. There's a link in the description. So if you like this video or my other videos, give me a follow over there. And with that, I will sign off for now, but I will see you next time.